Hey guys, I wanted to do a quick video on the modified valve body I did for my 2019 Toyota Tundra. So this is the actual original valve body out of the AB60 transmission in that Tundra. The main reason I bought an upgraded modified valve body was because the truck's going to get supercharged eventually. And I also had an occasional issue where it was slow going into shifting into reverse. And I had an idea that I wanted the upgraded valve body just for longevity of the transmission. And I talked to John up at IPT Transmissions. He says, well, your fluid could be low. And I says, well, I had 2 drain and fills done at the dealership, so hopefully they did it right. And he says, well, the valve body may actually help her fix that problem. And it did fix the problem. It shifts quick, crisp into reverse every time. So the problem was completely solved. And all but 2 of the solenoids were all transferred over to the new valve body. This particular one is a line pressure control solenoid, and this is the torque converter lockup control solenoid. And this is the part number, if you can read it. This is for the lockup control solenoid, and this is the line pressure control solenoid. And those are the actual Toyota part numbers from the package. So there's a few things that they do to the transmissions. Like I said, I added these solenoids based on what they do on their full transmission builds. If these solenoids have 100,000 miles, even without a problem, they replace these just as an insurance measure. So I went ahead and did that. They also give you 2 upgraded springs, heavier springs, for 2 of the accumulators. This is the BC2 spring, the original. This is the BC3 spring, the original. So the new ones are in the truck, and they're significantly heavier springs, which help in the shift firmness and possibly the speed. I'm not a transmission expert, but definitely the firmness of the shifts are improved with those springs. And I'll show you the other things they do when I flip the valve body over. They upgrade, actually bore out the aluminum parts of the valve body and replace with sleeves and new valves and piston assemblies for the TCC valve spring and the pressure control valve and spring. And they also put a new accumulator in the bore in this particular valve body itself when they rebuild these. I'll flip this over and show you where they actually do that. So this would be pointing up when this is installed in the truck. This is what they actually go in, and they bore this out with a reamer and put a new sleeve and a new valve regulator and spring inside this part here. So that's your TCC valve. Of course, this would be facing down when this is installed in the vehicle. But this is your pressure regulator valve and spring. I think they call it the boost valve also. This is also bored out with a reamer. It's re-sleeved. New valve and spring are put inside here. These all wear inside the transmission over time and cause clutch slippage and eventually transmission failure if you push them hard enough. Over here, this right here, they put a new accumulator in there, so it's an accumulator piston inside the valve body itself. In these areas here, or where these accumulators rest against, when this is bolted in the truck, again, this is facing up in the truck, and the accumulators are sitting inside the transmission case itself. And these springs sit inside the accumulators in 2 of these particular spots. And you can see some of the rings where the accumulators were sitting. And so this is the original pressure control solenoid, which fits in this very first spot. And this is where your transmission filter would go, right here. So this very first spot is where that one lives. And this rearmost spot here is where the torque converter lockup control solenoid goes. This has made a huge difference with the way the truck drives now, even before the supercharger. So super happy with it. Can't say enough good things about John and the crew up at IPT Transmissions. This is great stuff. If anybody is having some issues, this might help it, or at least prevent more problems in the future, or prevent problems from showing up. So we're going to do another video on the temperature of this transmission while in stop and go traffic in 90+ degree heat in the summer here. And actually these two holes here are where the temperature sensors ride in this valve body when the harness is actually installed and plugged in this. Alright guys, that's going to end out this video, and we'll talk to you soon.